Hello, listeners, and welcome to Spooky Time with Mike and Mindy.
We have a special short episode today because we got our first Halloween Horror Nights announcement. Well, I mean, our fourth one.
While the show is going on.
Yeah, so we wanted to do a quick little talk about it. So,
For sure.
should we just dive right into this one?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So this one is called Depths of Fear.
You should read.
No.
So, Depths of Fear. If you have a fear of water and what lies beneath, your skin will crawl with this new haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights. Depths of Fear mixes all the elements of the unknown with underwater elements, monstrous creatures, and a countdown to a disastrous fate. The workers of a deep-sea mining company have found themselves in a dire situation. They've delved too deep and encountered a parasitic race of creatures that turn out to be deadly. Panic ensues as you find yourself encountering infected miners and acidic creatures. The pressure builds as the self-destruct sequence counts down to the inevitable implosion of the facility. As you venture further into the depths, you'll encounter the creatures known only as the Mouth Brooders. Picture being trapped in a claustrophobic mining installation underwater, with a countless number of these slithering monsters. Your worst nightmares will come to life as these fiends spew flesh-eating acidic eggs at human hosts, and you witness miners being driven mad by the infection.
So, I've always hated water, like lakes and everything, because I'm like, what the heck is underneath there? And one of my friends knows very well that I hate lakes. And I don't like tight, small spaces. So it's like full of things I know I don't like.
It's going to be a fun one for you for sure.
My only like saving grace is knowing that they have to be ADA compliant.
That is true. I'm glad you brought that up. All the houses are ADA compliant.
Yeah.
Sometimes they will have alternate paths, though. They'll have a path that is ADA compliant, and they'll have a path that is not.
Yeah, which is what they did in Dark Waters the year before last, where you Dead Waters. I always say the wrong one.
It's
Dead
okay.
Waters.
Yeah, so Mindy and I personally have discussed this, but Dark Waters, of course, being the late 80s, early 90s cartoon Dark Waters versus Dead Waters, the house. But
so I'm sorry.
yes.
Dead Waters was a house, and there were two paths. One path was ADA compliant, which they still had scare actors on, which was super cool. And the other one, you went on this crooked ship. So I'm actually kind of hoping that they reuse that
the
ship.
Slanted flooring?
Well, not just the slanted flooring, that ship from the beginning of Dead Waters.
Oh.
Because I'm wondering if that could be a set piece, like, you know, somewhere in this mining facility, if you venture out into the sea or something. I want them to incorporate it because it's so pretty.
So, like, it could be a sunken ship.
Yeah, so there was this amazing facade in Dead Waters, like this 2-story boat. Riverboat.
A paddle riverboat.
Yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous. And if they can reuse it in this house, like I just want to see it again.
And by gorgeous, I just want to clarify, since the two of us saw it, but not necessarily everyone listening, it was broken down and it was decaying and it was falling apart. But the level of detail that they put into this was like, oh my God, you thought that this was an actual ship in this studio, right, in this soundstage, that had just been there forever, falling apart. And it was, they did such a great job with it. So maybe we might see it again, but it would be, maybe you view it through like a little...
like a porthole or something.
Yeah, you're looking through it.
Like, I don't understand exactly how this mining facility is going to work.
Right, yeah. So when I first heard about, this house, I immediately thought of Dead Man's Wharf, which was a scare zone for Halloween Horror Nights 26, which was the first year that we went.
Yes.
And there were all these guys in like the 18th century, bronze bubble helmets and all these creatures.
Yeah.
And there was this blacklight effect that was so awesome. Like they had like fluorescent makeups on the faces of these people, and then they had black lights inside of their helmets shining on their faces so when it was dark their faces just popped with purples and blues. And it was just
and it was so
cool.
foggy and so beautiful. And if they can reuse like any of that technology, any of those things that we saw, that half of the ship that they had in that scare zone as well, if they're able to utilize that in some way. But I also don't want to get my hopes up. I keep reminding myself it's a mining facility.
It's right. Maybe, it's mining. It's underwater. They're workers.
These people are getting infected by a parasite. Maybe it's more like Alien or something.
Right.
And like instead of in space, you're actually underwater.
Right. But they would like appear, facility wise to be very similar.
Right.
I would imagine like, your horror movie spaceship would be very similar to your underwater mining facility, which is something that feels very desolate, barren. You're alone. It's claustrophobic. There's no windows to the outside world.
Right. I mean, there has to be, though. If they're mining, they need to be able to see out, right? Like, it can't just be windowless.
Let me ask this a stupid question.
Okay.
Is it a mining facility that's above water? Because I thought it was a mining facility that was underwater.
It sounded like it was a mining facility underwater.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it does say that. Claustrophobic mining installation underwater.
So there might be windows still, but it's just a water.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can't live out there like with space.
Yeah.
You could have a window out to space, but you can't.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? Okay, so if you're familiar with Milwaukee, Wisconsin at all, and our public museum.
Yeah.
There is that really cool area where you're like, you walk up to at the top of the stairs and there's like portholes, and you start like at the top of the ocean and you go down each porthole to see different sea creatures.
Different zones as you get deeper.
Yes, it's super cool. And at the very bottom, you're like in complete darkness and you see all those fish and things at the bottom, but they're just lit up. Mm-hmm. And like, that's fascinating to me. And it would be really cool if there is that dive down into the facility. If there's some way
that they incorporate the aspect of you're going from land down to
that would be really cool. I don't know if that's possible, if it's going to be as short as Dead Waters was, because I feel like Dead Waters was so amazing, but I feel like it was a really quick house.
It was.
And I feel like that's probably going to be what happens with this one, unfortunately. But I don't know.
Well, one thing that at least I don't think I've encountered is stairs or like elevation changes.
Yeah.
For the most part, they keep it all on a level.
Right.
But I get what you're saying. You could still simulate that without actually having you go up or down in elevation. I do want to say one thing, though, about the Milwaukee Public Museum, which is, of course, as a kid and you're younger, you run through that whole scene because one of them has a giant shark. And so you're so afraid of it when you're young.
Cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd always run.
That's fine. I didn't like the dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, so. I was always fine like walking down, and then like second to last one had this big shark, so you'd always run by it, of course, because it's gonna get you, obviously.
I mean, I would look at it from one of the other windows, because if you like pushed yourself up against the window, you could tell that it wasn't as real.
You could see it at the time.
So I made sure to know that it wasn't going to get me.
All right, fair.
And if anything, I ran to the bottom because I was obsessed with the underwater, like deep sea creatures.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
And it would be really cool if they were able to utilize like any of those deep, I wonder if this house is going to end up being very dark at all.
could be.
If it's going under self-destruct, it sounds like there will be like sirens and like maybe power outages.
Yeah, or like
and
red
things.
light, right?
Yeah.
Or like the main lighting is cut. Now it's on like red backup generator lighting or...
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you were saying that this moved up to like your top house that you're excited for.
When I read the announcement, I'm like, straight to the top. Jumped. Just blew the rest out of the water.
But what about Universal Monsters? Because you were so excited about that. And you were saying that you can't imagine what original houses are like. But all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm so pumped for this original house. Like what?
I think I'm getting
changed?
called out. I feel like it's a call out.
Yeah, so what changed?
Let me defend myself here a little bit. Well, I realized actually after one of our recordings, you were like, oh, well, yeah, but now, after we've been there a couple years, I know what to expect. And so I guess like knowing the stuff that they've been able to do in original houses, I'm excited to see what they do with this one. I think it has a lot of potential to be really good.
Yeah.
Whether or not it delivers on that, whatever.
Yeah.
But as far as like the excitement and the hype, I'm excited and I'm hyped.
Yeah.
For Universal Monsters, I did think a bit more about it, and if it was like the classic black and white portrayals,
sure,
I would be much more excited about that because like I said, I watched those growing up with my dad.
Sure.
But they're like the modern take on the classic monsters. So like not a black and white, not a classic feel. So for me anyway.
Well, you know what I think it is though for you is I think that this storyline simulates the types of movies that you love. Like it's still sort of like sci-fi-esque, like in a ship, something's happening, like you love Alien, you love like all those types of things. And like I feel like this storyline falls in line with the type of movies that you love to go see in the theater. And like Godzilla even, there's like facilities and stuff, and a creature. And so like I just feel like this falls in line with the stuff that you enjoy.
So what you're saying is I'm predictable.
You're predictable. But so am I. I want the one with all the blood. So like... it's fine. Everybody's got their favorite things.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to point out before we wrap it up is I noticed at the end it says your worst nightmares will come to life as these fiends spew flesh-eating acidic eggs at human hosts. So, like, are they gonna simulate throwing eggs at us? Is it going to be like weird water bursts?
Yeah,
is it going to be
you're gonna
poofs of air? Are we going to see bodies and hosts similar to like how crazy is this? The Silence where they're filling bodies with eggs. Is it going to? Are we going to end up walking into that?
No, I feel like there will be. Obviously, you'll see, and probably you'll see it happen to another scare actor. Like a scare actor will be one of the mining facilities people, I imagine, like getting attacked.
Sure.
And then you'll round a corner and then it'll attack you through like maybe a puff of air and a burst of water. But you have to first like present the person with this is what's going to happen, and then later it can happen to you.
Yeah.
At least that's how I think.
Well, I don't think they're going to just start throwing water or eggs at us or something when we walk in, but I'm saying like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, how are they
the hosts living? Is that why there's the parasitic infections and they have eggs in them?
Like, are the people going to be taken over by the infections, or will the people be driven insane because they have eggs growing inside them?
Yes.
I think it's probably that one because like I'd imagine I'd go nuts if something spat eggs at me and now they're growing at me. I'm like, oh my god.
So now that also adds the element for me of like something is like in you and by your intestines and things, which is another one of like the things I hate.
Oh wow.
So it's like claustrophobia, water, and probably intestines and eggs and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
this could hit all of
my things. Now they just need to throw in like pulling off fingernails and like I'll be yeah.
I mean that's probably more of like a torture themed house. Probably not here, but like I get what you're saying.
So at least I'm free of like
you see like the one character, oh my fingernails.
Yeah, no. I don't think that'll happen.
Probably not.
But yeah, all right. Like I just wanted to quick talk about this, but
yeah, I know. Like I'm I'm really excited for it. I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good because like I've seen what they've been able to do with similar type water scare themes. And the last thing we didn't even mention was Scary Tales had an underwater mermaid scene.
Yeah.
So could be like that. Maybe we will exit this facility. Maybe we will, have to encounter being out there without without the protection of the facility around us.
I do hope that happens because I also want to have like water and dirt smells. So I love those smells. But
and they do a great job of that quintessential smell, like the air freshener that you bought.
Yes.
And Mindy somehow found like a Halloween Horror Nights smell air freshener that's now in our car.
Yeah, actually, it's from Halloween Horror Nights Unofficial. I don't want to not give credit, so that's where I purchased it from. It was $5 online, free shipping. I don't know if they still have any in stock, but I picked one up. I thought it was really fun. It's the shape of a skull, so
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's it. I think
so.
So thanks for joining us, guys. Creep it real.
Creep it real.
Yeah? Okay. Creep it real.
Creep it real. Bye.
Bye.